Hi friends, my name is Wendy and I am the maker behind All Things Sewing in Salt Air by East Beach. I have a small sewing business where I make things like tote bags, everything bags, Bible totes, book sleeves, pencil cases, memory bears, and dolls. So I just posted my first studio vlog today and I am getting started on the next one because I plan to release it one every Saturday. So it is Saturday here, as I said, and we just did a mini fabric haul from Michael's. And when I say mini, I really do mean mini because we only picked up 2 fabrics and some interfacing. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I picked up a yard of SF 101 because you can never have too much of this stuff because I use it to back my linings. I use it to back other things, memory bears, dolls, and stuff like that to give them more sturdiness and stability. So we picked that up today. And then before I show you the other 2 fabrics, I'll tell you what I got it for. I am making my son the patchwork duffel bag, but I'm making the mini version of it. This is the large version of it, but I'm making him a mini duffel bag because we are going out of town to visit my husband's hometown in New York in August. So I told my son, because I made my granddaughter a mini book bag / children's tote, that I would make him something. So this is what we decided on, the mini patchwork duffel. And I'm showing you the big one because I don't have the mini pattern yet. I am ordering it this week. And the fabric that we got was for his bag, so he got to choose what he wanted. So that is what our mini fabric haul entailed today. So here we go with the fabric haul. He picked out this fabric. Fun fact, my son was born on Star Wars Day, so it is very fitting that he chose this fabric for his bag. On it we have the Millennium Falcon, we have the TIE Fighter, we have Darth Vader's, I think it's the Imperial Starship, don't quote me on that, but we have all these fun prints. Oh, there's the AT-AT on there, which I love, from my favorite film, and that is the 4th one, not the 1, 2, and 3. The 4, 5, and 6, the way I saw them when I grew up. So he got that for the outside of his bag. We picked up 2 yards of that. And then I actually picked out the inside fabric. We only needed a yard of that, but we also chose Star Wars fabric for that. So we went with this really cute, look, it has the lightsabers. We have Yoda, we have R2-D2, we have a C-3PO. So, and it does have the Death Star in there, see? So this is going to be the inside lining of his bag. Now I still have some things that I need to buy for the bag. Oh, it's got Darth Vader on there as well. We still have some things that we need to buy for his bag. I need to get the strap. I need to get the zipper for it. So we got started, but like I said, we still need the pattern and a couple other things to get started. But the pattern won't get here until the first week of July, and I have cookies to check on, so let me go do that, and I will see you guys just a little bit later. Hey guys, happy Sunday. I am back in the sewing studio, and my son asked me to make him a zipper pouch. So we have a little teeny bit of Toy Story fabric left in the white fabric, so we are going to use that to make him the tiny zipper pouch. So I'm going to take you along with me today. Tomorrow we start bulk sewing. Okay, so a little bit of a change of plan. I didn't have enough of the white Toy Story fabric to make the size zipper pouch that I was going to make. So we do have some left of this blue Toy Story fabric. I can't English today, so we're going to go ahead and use that instead. So I am going to take that, run it through the iron, or run the iron over it, I should say, and flatten out all those lines in it and the little creases we have, so that I can go ahead and quilt this on some batting. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do right now. I love this iron. I actually won this in a giveaway one day on a Instagram live for another sewing channel. And I absolutely love this iron. It was something that I wouldn't have purchased for myself, but I use it every day in my sewing room. All right, so we got some of those creases out. Alrighty, so we are ready to go ahead and get the pattern so that we can quilt this baby. So I'm gonna reach in here and pull out, you know what? We could probably get away with fusible fleece on this project instead. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the size I need for fusible fleece, and then we'll go ahead and iron that on there. So I like to use those pens that I showed you the other day to go ahead and mark it, and I'll link those in this video below again. So we are going to trace the pattern on the back here of the fusible fleece so that we can go ahead and cut those out. I like to cut the fusible fleece down to the pattern size. So I could just go ahead and iron it on the back of the fabric, and then I'll go ahead and cut out the pattern size that way. And I am just using my straight ruler to make sure I get nice straight lines on the fusible fleece. Okay, we got one marked, and we are going to turn this baby sideways to do this one because there's just enough to get it if I put it sideways. All right. My son said that he's going to use it to put, he loves these little driven cars that you could get from Target in the little mystery boxes. They're like $1.99 per car. He absolutely loves those, and he has amassed quite a collection. And he asked me to make this so that he could put his cars in that. I did make him a boxy bag for that very thing for him to put his driven cars in. But he uses that boxy bag for something else. I can't remember what he's got in there right now. So he asked me to make this zipper pouch. And I am making probably, I think, the second to largest size for him out of this fabric. And there's no way it's going to be big enough to put all of his driven cars in. But he asked me to make it, so I'm going to go ahead and make it for him. Okay, so I went ahead and marked some quilting lines. It's fusible fleece. I don't need to, but I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway, just because I like it. And then we are going to quilt that in the machine. But while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and interface the lining. Why am I going to do that? It's not a big pouch, but it will make the lining lay so much better if I put interfacing in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But first, we are going to get the wrinkles out of this so I can go ahead and add the interfacing to that so it doesn't have these lines in it. And I'm going to hit it with some steam. But I think I'm going to have to add some water in it to get some steam because it's not spitting any steam out. So I always keep a water bottle handy at my table wherever I'm cutting to go ahead and do that. So we're going to do that right now. Super easy to do it. Just fill it up to the top. I'm going to have to give it a second before it's able to spit some steam out. So I just count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should be good to go. And now it's hitting it with some steam. And I've got this sitting on there precariously. Like I said, I need to get a couple more of these bookshelves to put together. So I have a big cutting table. I almost burned myself with some steam. Be careful. Let's do that. And I've got the little pad that the iron sits on to do that. And let's get out some SF 101 because like I said, that is going to make this sit so much better. So hopefully I got some in here so I don't have to cut a whole new thing on it. And let's see, let me get the pattern piece out here, and hopefully these little parts sitting right here are big enough to do that. And like I said, I go ahead and I draw the pattern piece once I figure out where I put it. You know what, I probably put it back at the table. Was that the one I was using? I hope so, because I'm about to cut out the piece and it is just enough to get it out of these pieces there. So we are going to go ahead and do that. Let me get the ruler so I can cut them straight lines. Let's use this smaller piece here, and I'm just going to draw them, like I said, on the fabric here. Actually, it's not quite big enough. That's okay. We will do it this way, because if I did it the other way and it was a little shy on the interfacing, then my pattern piece for my lining wasn't going to match up to the pattern piece for the main fabric, and then we would have had an issue when we were trying to sew them up. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it sideways so we can get the correct size, and go ahead and draw that on there. Slide it over to the other side, draw the line there. There we go. And I draw the line across the top. And the bottom. There we go. Now we have that drawn, so I could go ahead and cut that out before I iron it to the fabric. And I got, like I said, I need to get a pegboard so that I can hang these rulers up, because right now they're sitting on the table and they're literally getting in my way right now. So let's do this one. Slide it down to the bottom. I am trying to work smarter, not harder, and if I had done the side and then went ahead and went back to the bottom, it probably would have ended up the wrong size. So like I said, I am trying to work smarter, not harder. So slide that over there, draw that line, and now I can cut my pattern piece out, and it'll be the same size. I can iron it onto the back of my lining fabric and then cut it out. And then we can get to some sewing after just a little more ironing on the loop piece and the zipper end. Then we can get to sewing. Okay, we've got the pattern pieces cut out of the interfacing here, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And I know you're really supposed to just lay the iron on there, set it down and not move it, but I do. Do as I say, not as I do. I move the iron around. You're not supposed to, but I do. So, like I said, do as I say, not as I do. Just get it glued on there. that piece should be good since I hit it with the steam. Let's go ahead and do this one. Let me iron this since it's going to go down a little past where I ironed it. Let me go ahead and iron it, get that string off of there because that will get stuck underneath that. And you don't want that. All right, she's ironed. Make sure the glue side is down. Ask me how I know. Get that stringy off of there. That won't get stuck. And you want to stay on there long enough to get those glue dots stuck to that fabric. Now, ideally speaking, I would have made sure that the lines going across this fabric, since it does have lines on it, were straight going across, but it's for my son. It's not being sold, this bag. Why? Because it's Toy Story fabric and that's licensed. So you're not supposed to sell items made with licensed fabric, but since it is for my son, I don't mind that the lines are crooked and he won't care either. If he did, obviously, I would make sure that those lines were straight, or if it was something that I was selling, I would do my absolute best to make sure those lines were straight. Now, last bit of ironing that we need to do for right now, for the time being, is iron the zipper end fabric in half. And then for the other piece, little piece that we have from the main fabric, the loop, we want to do the folding over twice. So we're going to fold over twice in the center there, iron that, hit it with some steam. There we go. Let that cool for a minute, or don't if you want to burn your fingers. And fold it over again, almost to the middle. Iron it. I'm not going to hit it with steam that time because I'll hit it with steam at the end there. And I don't have the greatest light in my sewing room. I need to get some kind of lamp for over here on this side because there's no light in this room, in the ceiling. That's just how it was when we bought it. So I make do by opening the curtains during the day. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and take that piece, fold it over, put it on there, and I will hit it with some steam now. So that's the last little bit of ironing that we need to do right for this second. So I'm going to let that cool down for a second, put my iron over here on its pad, set that down, move this to the side. It's cooled off enough where I didn't just burn my hand. And then we are going to cut out the lining. And what I like to do, could I cut this with a rotary cutter? Yes, but I think I mentioned it in my first video. I am not the greatest with a rotary cutter. I have cut my fingers with the rotary cutter, so I prefer, for the time being, to cut it out with scissors. I also find it very therapeutic and relaxing to cut things out with scissors. I don't know if that's the kindergartner in me coming back into play, but I do use my scissors. And for now, I'm not going to fold this up. I'm going to ball it up and put it in the cupboard, and I'll fold it up later off camera. And I'm going to try to cut this as quick as possible. And then I'll show you what I mean by I didn't make sure that the lines were straight, because you'll see when I show you these two pieces of fabric after I've cut them, that the lines are in fact not straight. But they're squiggly lines anyway, so I don't think it'll be that noticeable. And as I said, this is for my son. It's not being sold, so it's not going to bother him. And it'll bother me a little bit just because I'm OCD, but it's going to be the lining for his bag, so you're not really going to see it. So, but as I said, if I were to sell a bag like this, and I couldn't even if I wanted to because it's Disney licensed fabric, so I would get in trouble for that. And if you didn't know and you are a sewist and you sell things, you are not supposed to sell things with trademark characters and licensed fabric unless you have permission. And I think in most cases Disney doesn't give permission, but I don't want to risk my business, so. And where do you find that information out? Whether it's licensed, it'll say it on the info on the fabric when you buy it. So if you look on the side of the fabric where it's written, where it has writing, like who made the fabric and whatnot, it will tell you that. And it will tell you whether it's for personal use. So here we go. I'll show you. See how the lines aren't straight? They're not straight anyway, but when I cut them out, the lines aren't running straight in the fabric. See how it's got some red going all the way through, and then the next line up is crooked and you don't have the entire line. That's because it's crooked. But again, lining fabric, not a big deal. Let's go take this to the sewing machine and make this bag. Hi friends, so this is what we made yesterday. My phone died on me and it wouldn't record any more video, so I had to delete some stuff again. So if you have any tips and tricks on how to do that, how to record on your phone, let me know because I need them. We also have a place to attach our key fob onto that he can hook it onto, so he can just carry it like this. We have one zipper tab on this end, none on the other end, and it's got this fun fabric that I showed you on the inside. See, you don't even notice that I cut it crookedly. But here we are. I hope you like it, and I am going to end this vlog, this weekend vlog, on that note, and I will see you this Saturday with a new video of bulk printing.